Do you ever walk out of a movie and think, that was amazing, only to go online and see everyone tearing apart? Or the opposite, everyone hypes up a movie and then when you finally watch it, it's just okay? It's weird, right? So today we're breaking down what actually makes a movie good, why our expectations shape our opinions way more than we realize, and how I personally score movies, and even why a 2.5 out of 5 isn't a bad thing. And trust me, stick around because we're going to get into some controversial takes. So let's talk about expectations. They can make or break a movie before you even step into the theater. You ever notice how some movies are doomed before they even come out? What really sparked this video was I recently saw The Monkey in theaters, and I have yet to post my review of it. That will be going up next week. But this film just completely did not meet my expectations. Osgood Perkins previously did one of my favorite films of last year, and that was Longlegs, and I really enjoyed that movie. And it had a very creepy, slow burn kind of element to it. Whereas this one is much different. It's more campy, more fun, lots of gore, and everything is a joke. So I think that my expectation from his previous film was to expect more of the same kind of creepy, dark, thematic horror movie that we got with Longlegs, when instead it felt like Final Destination. So it really dampened my enjoyment of the film at first, which is why I'm taking a little bit of time to put my review out there. Because the more I think about it, the more I think, okay, had I not gone in with that expectation, then my opinion would not be as low of this movie as it is. I think a lot of people are going to have really fun time with this one at the theaters. And it's all about your perception and what marketing specifically does to a movie. So we saw a great marketing campaign from Neon with Longlegs, and they're doing another really interesting one right now. As a matter of fact, today they posted that they're going to allow churches to screen this for free simultaneously, which is very interesting for this movie in particular because of the content matter. So they are doing some different kind of marketing with this, but I don't think they're doing it a justice with how they framed this as being the scariest movie ever, which I've heard that so many times in about movies this past year alone that it makes you think it's like you almost have to have the expectation, okay, it won't be the scariest movie ever. For example, the movie Presence, I loved, had nothing to do with being a scary movie though. It was more of a family drama. So there's lots of these kind of things happening that subvert our expectations and therefore lessen the experience when we're in the moment. Now, if you pause on that, maybe go back and revisit it, or go in with a fresh set of eyes or with some other friends or people and go in and view it again, your opinion might totally change. In fact, that's what I think is going to happen when I see The Monkey again. So I'm kind of debating on leaving my review out there a little bit longer before posting it, just so I can get another chance to see it again. And I think this happens quite a bit in movies. I notice there's a lot of discourse, especially around Captain America, Brave New World. And again, we have this high expectation. Will this be the big comeback of the MCU back to its glory days? Is this going to be peak? Everybody keeps saying, is this peak MCU? And there's people arguing in comments and disagreeing that haven't even seen the movie yet. And it's because they're listening to a handful of people that had different expectations, didn't get exactly what they wanted, and therefore weren't posting the reviews that were true to the film. So what I like to do is I like to start every review out neutrally at a 2.5 out of 5, and as the film goes on, I make a mental note of, okay, this is working really well, this is not working really well, for all the categories such as acting, story, sound, and visuals. And that's what I do, and it kind of slides on a scale up and down throughout the film. In fact, it can go really well and then have a poor ending, and then I might dock it a little bit for the story portion of it. So it really is the whole film as a whole and what I think would be enjoyable for most people, including myself. And of course, there's going to be a little bit of bias in there of things that you appreciate more than other things. For example, I do love horror movies, so I tend to rate those a little bit higher. But I do think we're in this era of horror movies right now where a lot of people are into horror movies, and it's really fun. So something like Hard Eyes, if you go in with the wrong expectation, you're not going to appreciate it, how fun it is. But if you go in knowing it's a fun, campy horror movie that's very self-aware, you will really enjoy that movie. So I think it's all about setting expectations, and we have to keep those in check. And it starts with the marketing of the film. In fact, when I hear about a movie, I don't like to listen or look at the marketing at all. Now, sometimes going to the movies frequently, you tend to see the same trailers over and over and over, and sometimes it is unavoidable. So in that case, you're kind of subjected to it. But other than that, I try not to watch too many trailers online, especially when a film gets closer to release. They tend to throw out way more information than they should, and it leaves me a little disappointed knowing too much about the film. Drop a comment below. What's a movie that totally defied your expectations? Good or bad? I want to hear your takes. If you made it this far in the video, please hit the like button. It really helps this video reach more movie lovers like you. So let's be real. Sometimes movies get more hate than they deserve. So my final question for you is, what's a movie you feel gets way too much hate? Let's debate on that in the comments. And if you're still watching, drop a popcorn emoji so I know you're a real one. Alright, so now that you know how I rate movies, let me know. What do you think makes a movie good? Acting, visuals, story, something else? And hey, if you want to see my top 10 horror movies of 2024, click right here below. Or if you're into underrated movies, check out this deep dive on my favorite hidden gems. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you at the movies.